Okay, I'm not gonna waste too much of your time here, guys. Yesterday was the Elimination Chamber at the time of this recording, and after sleeping on it, I'm still pretty much buzzing with excitement, so let's talk about it. We kicked off the show with the Women's Chamber match, and there was some great stuff sprinkled in there. I think the most notable thing for me was Jade coming back and absolutely mauling Naomi before anything. Bianca was acting like she was watching someone being stabbed. It was great. I'm excited for the fallout and the follow-up. Every time Bianca whips someone with that braid, it is gnarly. The sound, the welts, I feel it through the fucking screen. I love it. Thank you for your sacrifice, Miss Morton. Your body probably does not appreciate it, but we do. I loved it. Next we move on to Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Let me be the first to say that I respect the hell out of Trish for getting back in the ring at almost 50 and looking as good as she does. There were a couple of moments where things looked a bit shaky for her offense, but all in all, nothing stood out as like an egregious botch or anything for me. It felt like it might have dragged on a little for me personally, but I guess that's kind of to be expected with tag matches. It was okay. Next we have the time-tested tradition of Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in the unsanctioned match. And I am not a big fan of when WWE does weird shit with the lighting of the arena personally, but I guess it kind of changes the overall vibe of the match, and of course these two put on a fucking show for Canada. We saw biting, we saw a fucking chair wrap in barbed wire, and if this was any other promotion, these guys would have tapped into their indie days and did even more. I think Sami and Kevin are like locked in with each other so much that the chemistry is undeniable. You put these two in a ring, they're gonna give you a show. Owens comes out on top at the end, and when he goes to do some more damage, we get Randy Orton's music. From the second I saw Randy coming out, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna do a punt kick. He's gonna punt. He didn't get to do it. I called it right. He didn't get to do it though, but it felt good. I love this one. Always love Sami versus Kevin Owens. Kinda old by now, but come on. You got like a Superman versus Batman, Goku versus Vegeta thing going on. It's just gotta happen at some point. It has to happen. Lastly, we wrap things up with the Men's Elimination Chamber, and man, the match itself is what you could expect for one with this much star power in it. There weren't many outwardly crazy spots, but there were plenty of good sequences and reversals that played into these guys' strengths and movesets. We talked on stream before the PLE, and I leaned towards Drew winning as a kinda meh swerve. I didn't really care who won, but funnily enough, he got out of there first. There was great character work from just about everyone in the match, with Punk antagonizing people from inside his pod, Logan being a little shit, Rollins being this kind of like wild dog out there, and this really cool spot where Cena and Punk gave each other a hug before they got into it, being in the chamber. I thought it was cool. I loved it. Cena was playing this sort of respectful angle the whole time, but with how things ended, I didn't see the finish of this show coming, if that makes sense. Everything boils over with Cena versus Punk as the last two in the chamber, but Punk gets caught by a stomp from Rollins as Rollins is on his way out, and then Cena slaps on the STF, and while Punk is down, he just ends up passing out, leaving Cena as our winner. I think given the circumstances, it was kinda obvious that Cena was gonna win, but I was actually surprised that he didn't have that Super Cena moment. He didn't quite win clean, and it's even cooler because of the ending of the show. So the ending, Cody comes out to the ring to give his stare down to our winner. We've got this whole give me your soul thing from the final boss hovering over our heads. Travis Scott is out there for whatever reason, this time he's actually burning sage. Sorry, I haven't been watching the main shows, I don't know his relevance to all this. And of course, The Rock comes out. We get a nice, girthy, meaty, veiny, go fuck yourself from Cody Rhodes to The Rock. The crowd pops, Cena is hyping him up and gives him a hug, and then there's this hand motion, and the camera changes, and Cena's face changes, and without words, the air is sucked out of the arena. We got a Cena heel turn. If the show had been absolute ass cheeks up until this point, I think that heel turn would still have carried it. Like, I was absolutely losing my mind with my brother. It brought me back to being a kid again. I was marking out. Also, someone has to tell Travis Scott, right? Chill out. He definitely slapped the shit out of Cody. Go back and watch it. He bruised him and everything. It's great. You can hear it. You out loud, he slapped the shit out of him. They put the beats on that man before clearing out, and I'm all in. If nothing else was going to get me back into watching the product weekly, a fucking Cena heel turn and the fallout from it is the last resort, and I'm in. They got me. They got me. All in all, it was a pretty great show with a fantastic ending in my opinion. There were all sorts of articles and videos popping up talking about how low morale was backstage and people hating WWE now and whatever. But with the show that's constantly in motion like this and champions kind of revolving and, in and out, you've got a whole bunch of stuff, moving parts and all that. I think it's important to let the cooks cook and have faith. Have fun watching it. Nothing is really set in stone with the WWE, right? Like, there's injuries, there's last-minute changes and swerves. You never know what might happen. So, I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely down for the ride. But what are your thoughts on the Elimination Chamber? What was your standout match, your favorite spot? Give me your takeaways and comments. I love reading them. Subscribe if you want or don't. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not gonna bully you. Yet.